I am working with the WWICS group of companies as an assistant vice president and looking after the sales and marketing for the entire Pan India. And I have a rich experience in handling all business cases for Canada and other countries as well. So I'm with the company for the last 10-15 years, and we have been able to relocate more than 10,000 people in the last 5 to 6 years. So we would be sharing the details with all the business program we have for Canada, and I'll give you details for other countries if time permits. Otherwise, we will be discussing one-to-one as well. Our team would be calling you if we have not been able to give you all the details and the given timelines. So we'd be calling you and sharing the details with you as well.
Mr. Amit, what would be the agenda of today's webinar? Can you please help us to understand what are you going through, or what you can make us aware about investment opportunities in Canada? So please allow us to go through the brief of this webinar.
Sure. See, the agenda of this program is to make everybody aware what are the rules and regulations currently, and what are the investment amount to for the various provinces. We have got 7 to 8 provinces which are inviting entrepreneurs for the permanent residency. So we would be giving them all the details as to how to qualify under these programs, what are the requirements, what would be the investment, and how to get the permanent residency after making the investment. So this would be the agenda. Specifically, we will be concentrating on Canadian immigration program. However, if the time permits, we will certainly cover Australia and UK as well.
Oh, that's exciting to hear that, Amit. Can you please elaborate who is an entrepreneur for immigration purpose?
See, entrepreneur, basically a person who is running a company in India as a proprietor or a partner in the company. So, I mean, they are called entrepreneurs. Anybody.
How much partnership is required?
See, anybody is, acquiring 33.3% or more would be considered an entrepreneur. If you are having a less than 33.3%, you would be considered as senior management.
So is it required that I should have a registered corporate or any entity in my name licensed to work or to run my business?
Absolutely. You should be a taxpayer in India. You should have a company registered, and should have the profitable business, and you should have at least 5 years balance sheet with you to prove that you are an entrepreneur and you've been providing jobs to the local people, and of course you have a good turnover of the business as well.
Okay, so that means a business entity is required, registration or licensing is required.
Absolutely, everything is required.
Statements are required, turnover should be there, business should be profitable, and
yes.
I should be a taxpayer also, having the proof of ITRs filled as a businessman to be shown.
Absolutely. You should have the GST number, you should have the licensing, you should have complete requirement from the government. You should follow the guidelines given by the government to run a business. So any businesses which are not profitable, which are not going good, or which are not paying any taxes to the government, they are not eligible to apply for any of the Canadian programs.
Mr. Ajay, I can see you raising hand. I'm sorry, I can't take those questions right away. We are just waiting for people to join. Till the time I am discussing few things on the behalf of applicants only, those who are writing as question answers or in chat. So I'm putting those questions across to Mr. Amit, and he is addressing those concerns. If you have anything to clarify, you can please pen it down in the chat or QA box. Okay, Amit, is there any requirement of certain assets or net worth, and how much it is?
Yes, these are one of the important aspect in order to qualify for these programs. Anybody who's applying for a Canadian permanent residency through the investor program must have at least 3.5 to 4 CR net worth.
3.5 to 4 CR net worth. What does it all includes?
It includes your properties, which are on your name. It shouldn't be on your parents' name or any of your other, brother, sister's name. It has to be on your name or on a spouse's name. And there is no will or the power of attorney works. The property has to be on your name in order to be eligible to be the part of the net worth requirement.
And the book value of the property will be considered, or the market value of the property?
Market value of the property will be considered.
Apart from that, what other things can be included in my net worth?
See, you can consider your mutual fund, you can consider your insurances, you can consider shares, you can consider your fixed deposits, you can consider the money which is lying in your bank account. Which are things which are not included is the gold, your vehicles, the current account amount, and gold, of course, gold, your cash in hand, your vehicles. These are not considered as the part of your net worth.
Okay, so 3.5 to 4 CR is a must. And what is the minimum investment to begin with?
See, there are about 7 provinces, and some of the provinces are asking for minimum 150,000. It goes up to $300,000 to $500,000. Okay. It depends province to province. We would be sharing the details of these provinces as well.
All right, all right. We would love to hear that, Amit. And one thing more, is it mandatory that my business should be a profitable one, or if I have incurred some losses in a year or two in past, will that make me ineligible to participate in this program?
No, even if you have a profitable business, that is the must requirement. If you have if you're not earning profit in your business, that work experience will not be considered. Supposingly you had 1 year business which is not in profit, so that work experience for that particular year will not be considered.
Okay. Mr. Thakral, I can see you raising your hand. It is requested that please write your question in the chat or in QA tab. Then only we can read and we'll try to address that. Thank you.
I think we should start right now. Most of the participants.
It is just 5 o'clock, Mr. Amit. Yes. Around 50 to 60 people have joined. We can wait for another 5 minutes because the time given to begin is 5 o'clock. So let's wait for another 5 minutes only. And I will take up the questions that my viewers, they are asking. Mr. Pankaj Punj has asked the business value. Pankaj Punj, this is a vague question, business value. We have already addressed what is net worth. Okay, what is the investment for British Columbia? Probably Amit will go through that program completely, so please wait. Company's valuation is taken into consideration or not, Mr. Amit?
The capital of the company will be considered, yes.
Okay, capital, only capital will be
only capital will be considered.
Right. Please explain what country we are talking about. You started before time. No, we have not started before time. We will start from the scratch. It is only some questions I'm taking up to have a better understanding about what we are going to discuss today. What this webinar is all about. We will start it from scratch, from zero. Don't worry, Mr. Thakral. There is another question, Amit. What are the things considered in net worth? He has missed that. He requested to repeat it again. Amit ji.
See, the net worth, your overall asset, movable, immovable asset minus your liabilities is net worth. So we consider your properties which are on your name or your wife's name, the liquid assets like mutual funds, shares, your debentures, your insurances, your current saving bank account, your fixed deposits, which are all considered towards the net worth.
Okay. There is another question. How much minimum capital is required? This is from Mr. Amit Lamba. How much minimum capital? Amit, would you like to answer this? How much minimum capital is
required? Very vague question. I can't understand what is the capital. For which country, which province is talking about. The is talking about the investment, or what is the exact question? I'm not able to get.
So Amitji, write it clearly. I'll read it again. Okay, coming to the next question from Mr. Province which has minimum investment requirement. Yes. Which province has the minimum investment
at the moment,
requirement?
see, the minimum investment is with Nova Scotia and New Brunswick.
And how much is it?
That is only $150,000.
Canadian dollars, right?
Canadian dollars. It comes to about 85 to 90 lakhs only.
Thank you. What if the visitor visa is refused in past? Can we still go ahead with business visa?
Certainly, I mean, we need to look at as to on what ground the visa has been rejected. If it is on the fair grounds, we can certainly apply for the business visa application.
All right. A self-employed architect consultancy firm operating from more than 10 years, will it be considered a business in your terms?
No, it will not be considered as business because it's a self-employment. You're not generating income for other people, and certainly it will not be considered as the business experience.
So there is a requirement of number of employees also to be termed as entrepreneur.
At least 2 people working for you in your Indian business.
So if a consultancy has hired 2 people, some junior architect or someone to supervise, will that be considered? Is it sufficient?
Yeah, that will be sufficient. Yes. Anybody who's only working for himself, don't have employees, will not be considered as entrepreneur. He'll be a self-employed.
Okay. How much investment is there for British Columbia? Someone is asking me.
$200,000 minimum, bare minimum.
Okay, but there are none than 2 staff working. Sorry, your question is not clear. I have to close this. Let me take 2-3 more, then we can start the presentation. What are the things? Okay, do you guys help with the application process, Amitji?
Absolutely, yeah. We have top lawyers on our panel, and they would be representing our application. We would be working on your business plan. We would be working on your exploratory visit. We would be representing your application with the concerned provinces and with the federal government. Okay.
When considering property, you consider the market value. Yes, we have covered that. Only market value will be considered, not the book value. The current discussion is Canada. Yes, it is majorly about Canada, but if time permits, we will give you idea about other countries too. Minimum net worth for British Columbia, that is done. What is the investment for British Columbia? More and more people are asking about British Columbia. Can you shed some light on LMIA programs? Yes, of course, we are into LMIA letters also. We can provide you that. So please drop your number. Someone from the team will definitely contact you. What are the requirements of business visa? We'll be covering that in detail, in depth. Mr. Amit will be giving the presentation in just few minutes from now. Around 80 people have joined, Amit. Do you want to wait more or shall we start?
No, I think we should start now.
All right, Amit. Up to you. This is all yours now. I'm closing the discussion and everything. Let's hear Mr. Amit.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Noria, for discussing the client's questions with me. So I would be now taking up the presentation with all of you. I'm sure you can hear me loud and clear. Basically, we would be discussing all programs related to Canada, and if time permits, we can certainly discuss other programs as well. I would like to reiterate that we are dealing with all countries, starting from Canada, US, Europe, UK, Australia, Middle East. So, I mean, if you are interested for any of the countries, we have the visa facility available for any of these programs. But today's program is primarily scheduled for the Canadian permanent residency. But certainly we'll take up some questions related to Australia and UK permanent residency and immigration as well. So I would start my presentation. This is the Canadian Immigration Entrepreneur Senior Management category. Only people who are entrepreneurs. I wanted to reiterate on this. The people who are entrepreneurs mean they are running their own company, or they are the proprietor, or they are the partners, they are directors of the companies, or the people who are working at a very senior management level, like vice president, CEO, director. They are only eligible to apply for these Canadian programs. People who are doing jobs, the people who are working on the managerial level, they are not eligible to apply for the Canadian investor program. So I would request people to concentrate on the program detail, which I'm going to share with you. So this is the introduction. Canada always welcomes successful business people. At the moment, the Canadian, because of this problem, the COVID problem, there are a lot of issues going on. The Canadian government is not issuing the visas. The flights are not running, but you will be surprised to know that the applications are being accepted. So the more priority is being given to the people who are willing to invest in Canada, who are willing to create jobs in Canada, who are willing to contribute in the economy. So both the federal and the provincial territory government welcome business immigrants and offer services to start a business and settle in Canada. See, all the program is designed in such a way that these are not the direct permanent residency option. Initially, the government will give you a 2-year visa to ensure that you are a genuine business person. There would not be a single penny investment before you get the visa. The program has designed in such a way that initially the government will review your credentials. They will review the business plan which is being put up. They will see how good you are in handling the business in India. What is your business plan in Canada? How would you create the jobs? How would you contribute in the Canadian economy? What would be your plan for the next 5 years? So all these aspects will be looked after to give you the permanent residency. So Canada is an ideal destination for business owners and investors who want to expand into a foreign market. Canada's location makes it significantly easier than many countries. The most important point here is the government's hand-holding to the business people. The corporate tax compared to India is very, very less. In Canada, it's between 15 to 17%. In some of the provinces, it's only 7%. Why a businessman should choose Canada? Because there is a favorable income tax treaties, lower corporate taxes, as I just told you, a stable economy, availability of the skilled workers, social similarity to the US, availability of natural resources like gas, oil, and timber, easy access to the US market. This is the most important point, that the easy access to the US market. There is a lot of things happening in Canada compared to other countries. Canada has been, US has been signed a treaty with Canada for the business and other requirements. So, going to Canada from US is very, very easy for the business people. These are the immigration programs we are going to discuss. We've got 7 programs for people who wish to immigrate to Canada, who wish to invest in Canada, who wish to settle their future in Canada. So these are the programs. The Ontario Entrepreneur Program category. This is the first program which we are going to discuss. The Manitoba Entrepreneur Pathway. Then we have Nova Scotia Entrepreneur. I would request the people who are raising hand, we would discuss your questions at the end of the presentation. So please note down your questions and we can certainly answer your queries. We will discuss the Nova Scotia Entrepreneur Program. We'll have British Columbia Entrepreneur Program. This is a regional pilot program. Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Entrepreneur Program. Then we have Yukon Business Nominee Program. Then we have New Brunswick Business Immigration Program. So we'll be discussing all these programs. We would be discussing what are the requirements, what are the process, and how to get the permanent residency through investment on these programs. These were the program which we had discussed earlier were the provincial program, and these are the program which are the federal program, that is intra-company transfer, ICT, and startup visa program. This is the provincial nominee program. Provincial nominee program grant a businessman or a senior manager work permit for 2 years. As I told you initially, they will be giving you a 2-year business visa, and within those given 2-year business, 2 years time, you have to establish your business. There would not be even a single investment, single penny investment before you get the visa. First, they will evaluate your credentials and then they will grant you the visa. After getting the visa, within 20 months from the date of landing, you have to invest. Invest the amount which you have committed to the officer at the time of your lodging your application. If a person is unable to establish the business and unable to meet the targets set in the business performance agreement signed at the time of grant of work permit nomination, he may always seek extension. Supposingly, the government gives you a 2-year visa, and if you've not been able to invest within the 2 years' time, you can always apply for an extension also. Now, see, the program, all PNP program has been structured in a way that the process for all business programs are same. So what are the basic requirement to process these cases? First is the exploratory visit. Most of the program require a visit. Only Nova Scotia and British Columbia do not require an exploratory visit to lodge your application. Otherwise, the remaining provinces require you to visit the province and then lodge your application. So if you are in a hurry to lodge your application, or if you think that you are eligible to apply, British Columbia and Nova Scotia are the only provinces which are accepting applications without the exploratory visit. So you can, if you feel you qualify, you can lodge these application immediately. You can come back to us, and our team will give you all the assistance to apply for these programs. Now, after that, once you do the exploratory visit, there will be a business plan. You will go to that province, you will do some research. Our lawyers would be there to help you out in preparing the business plan and preparing the business research report as well. So you will go to that particular province, see what kind of businesses are flourishing, what kind of businesses can be profitable, what is the exact requirement for you to make an investment, how to get a loan from the bank, how to open a bank account, what are the schools for your kids, where are the grocery stores. So all these things can be covered during the exploratory visit. Our lawyers in Canada would be assisting you to get this exploratory visit conducted, and we would be making you meet to the bankers, to the business brokers, to other people who can be helpful in lodging your application or in preparing your business plan. So once you finish the exploratory visit, our experts would prepare a business plan after taking the inputs from you. Business plan is the main document to ensure that your application is successful. It is the soul of the body. So you have to be very, very particular about the business plan. If your business plan is not strong, your application is likely to reject it. So anybody who's applying for the Canadian program must know each and everything about the business plan. Business plan is all about your investment. What would be the investment? What would be the name of your company? What would be the product you would be selling? How you will be establishing your company? Who all your competitors are? What would be your target audience in Canada or in that particular province? How would you contribute in the Canadian economy? All these parameters to be included in the business plan. What would be the projected balance sheet for the next 5 years? How many jobs you would be creating? How would you contribute in the Canadian economy? So all these factors to be included in the business plan. So you should know each and everything about your business plan, because you are likely to be interviewed by the visa officer. If you do not know anything about the business plan, your application is likely to get rejected. So I would again, I would like to inform you that you have to spend more and more time on your business plan. If you know your business plan, you are likely to go through. So therefore, it is mandatory. It is highly recommended that you should know about the place where you are applying. Supposing you are applying for a British Columbia, which state, which city, which town you are going for. You must know about that town. You must know about that city. You must know how many schools are there, which school your son is going to be, which is the bank over there, what is the wage rate over there. Everything you should know. Although we would be providing you all the details, but mostly we have seen that business people do not have the time to read. But to be very honest, if you do not read about your business plan, if you don't know about the place where you're investing, I'm sorry, your application will be rejected. We would be giving you all the details about the business plan. We would be preparing the business plan for you, but you should read it. You should know it by heart. You should be able to tell on your fingertips. The details should be on your fingertips, and you should be able to tell the visa officer immediately once he asks anything about the business plan. So after making the business plan, and your IELTS should be available and your WS score should be there in order to apply for expression of interest. We would be applying for expression of interest once we have business plan, once we have your IELTS score, and once we have your WS score, or WS result. WS is your qualification assessment. You need to get your qualification assessed from the Canadian body, which is called World Education Services. From there, you need to get your education assessed. We would be helping you out in getting your qualification assessed also. So once we have all these 3 documents available, and we have complete documentation from your end, we would go for an expression of interest. After the expression of interest, we would be receiving the invitation to apply. Please be informed that these programs are point-based programs. So all these programs are point-based program, and you must get the point in order to get the ITA. We are only accepting the application where the clients are scoring the sufficient points in order to get the ITA. We are not accepting any application where the points are less than the required score. So we would be going through all the details which you will be sharing with us, and then we'll let you know whether you qualify for this particular program or not. Now, after the ITA is received, there will be a third-party verification from the Canadian approved third-party facilitator, who would be doing the verification of your properties which you have shared with us as a part of your net worth. They will be asking you details about the properties. You would have to provide them the documentation, the property papers and other documentation in order to make them assess regarding your property. So after the property verification is done, we will apply for the work permit application with federal government. Once the work permit nomination certificate is issued, you will be interviewed, and then we will submit the ITA. I'm sorry, there is some mismatch. After the third party verification, we would submit the ITA, and then there will be a possible interview. During the COVID situation, the interview is being taken on Zoom or some other platform. But once the COVID restrictions are lifted, you will be called in Canada for a personal interview. Most of the time, they call you personally for the interview in that particular province. So once you clear the interview, there will be a work permit nomination. There will be a nomination certificate issued by the province, and then we'll apply for a work permit, which will be granted by the federal government for 2 years. So the entire process is going to take about 15 months, 12 to 15 months. If everything is going smoothly, it's not going to take about 15 months time. So now we are going to discuss about the Ontario Entrepreneur Program. See, this is one of the most favorite program among Indians. Everybody wants to go to Ontario because this is the financial capital of Canada. 70% of the population is staying in Ontario and British Columbia. And therefore, everybody wants to go to these provinces, basically because these are financial capitals, and most of the business opportunities and employment opportunities are in this particular Ontario province only. However, to qualify under the Ontario program is little difficult compared to other provinces because the demand is very high. So if the demand is very high, certainly they are looking for the people who are investing more, or they are meeting the other requirements as well. The cutoff for this particular province is going very high, and therefore you need to check your point before you lodge the application for Ontario Entrepreneur Program. They are only looking for people who can score more and more points. So basically, you look at the requirement, the business or the senior management experience of at least 24 months in the last 60 months means you must have at least 2 years of work experience in the last 5 years. A proposed business will be located within the GTA. GTA is a Greater Toronto area. One must have minimum net worth of $800,000. If you are applying, if you wish to establish your business within the GTA, that is Greater Toronto area, there are 4 cities in the Greater Toronto area. One is Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, and Scarborough. These are the 4 main cities which are in the GTA, Greater Toronto area. If you wish to establish your business in these 4 cities, any of these 4 cities, then you must have a net worth of 800,000 Canadian dollar, means it should be approximately 5 CR and above. And you should be able to invest $400,000 outside the GTA or ICT digital communication sector. So if you wish to invest into the GTA, net worth should be 5 CR and you should be able to invest 2 CR. One must invest $600,000 within GTA, $200,000 outside the GTA or ICT digital communication sector. So things are very clear. If you wish to, most of the client, applying for outside GTA, because the investment under outside the GTA is very, very less compared to the inside GTA. So the outside GTA investment is just $200,000. That comes to about 1.25 CR only. One must create at least 2 permanent job offers inside GTA, at least 1 permanent full-time job outside GTA. So 2 jobs to be created inside GTA and 1 job to be created outside GTA. The digital communication sector, if you are in the digital communication sector, means you are from the IT industry, whether it is in the software and the hardware. If you wish to establish your business either in GTA or outside GTA, you can invest $200,000 only. There is no need for you to invest $600,000 if you are in the IT business. So the points for Ontario program is going 142. All these points are considered your age, your qualification, your experience, your turnover of the business, are you doing export, your English, all these factors will be considered. So, if you are interested for this Ontario program, we would request you to share your detail with us and we'll get back to you within 2 days' time with all the assessment in your application. Now we come to the Manitoba Entrepreneur Program. Unlike Ontario program, this is far easy program in order to get the permanent residency. This is a very, very good program, very highly successful program. Now Manitoba Entrepreneur Program is very, very popular also because of the success rate. If you see the requirement for this particular program, you must have 3 years of experience in the last 5 years as a business person, right? As a business person means you should be an entrepreneur, you should be a proprietor, you should be a partner in the company. At least you should hold 33.3% in the business. Or if you are less than 33% shareholding in the business, you will be considered as senior management, and the points are less for a senior management guy compared to a proprietor or a partner in the company. The net worth is $500,000. 500,000 means 3 CR net worth. You should have minimum 3 CR of net worth. You should be able to make an investment of $250,000, means 1,1.35 CR. And then if you want to invest in the capital city, the main capital city in Manitoba is Winnipeg. So if you wish to invest in Winnipeg, the investment is 250. If you want to go outside Winnipeg, the investment is just 150,000 Canadian dollar. The official language would require minimum CLB 5. You should be able to clear IELTS. Please be informed that all programs require IELTS result. There is no even a single program which doesn't require IELTS. you all, if you want to apply, you need to clear IELTS exam with CLB5, minimum CLB5. Education should be minimum high school, but we are only accepting.
Sorry to interrupt, Amit.
Yeah.
Let's take a small break. Your voice is sounding low. Someone is complaining that there is a problem in the sound. Guys, please check your internet connection because I can hear him loud and clear. And I will read some questions, Amit. You also take a deep breath. For better engagement, people are still writing on the chat as well in QAs. So I'll read few questions again. Please answer those, and then we can again continue.
Sure.
Just a short break of 5 minutes only.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any maximum age for this category?
Yeah, there is a maximum age for most of the provinces. The maximum age is 55. After 55, you lose point. You can still apply, but you would be losing majority of the points if you're below. If you are above 55 years of age. British Columbia is the only province which is accepting application till 64 years of age. But okay. I would like to reiterate that you can still apply even if you are 64 years above or 55 years above, but you would be losing point in the age factor.
Okay. General managers are considered. Someone is writing, I'm working as manager. So what kind of managers are considered eligible?
See, in most of the programs, general managers are not considered because they are not running the company. If you are working at a management level, supposing you are a vice president of the company or the director of the company or the CEO of the company, yes, then you are acceptable. Otherwise, if you are working at a general manager level, you are not having the you're not having the powers to run the company, then you will not be considered. Supposing you don't have the hiring and firing authority, you can't take the decision on behalf of the company, then you are not eligible.
Okay, does spouse also needs to clear IELTS?
Yes, I mean, if spouse, it is not mandatory, but if she clears IELTS, she'll certainly get points and it'll add a lot of strength to your application.
Okay, and do we need IELTS if we already have a Canadian visa in business category but expired?
And if the visa is expired, you need to reapply, and for that also you need to have fresh IELTS if it is not 2-year-old.
They don't have IELTS, but they have a business visa, whether valid or expired. The question is whether they require IELTS or not.
For all programs, the IELTS is must now.
Okay. I have 30 years of experience. Just a second. Okay. I have 30 years of experience. My age is 51. I am a director of a company. Which program should I go? Sir, this requires a complete understanding of the evaluation process. I'll take some other questions. Managers, general managers. Okay, let me go to the chat window then. Okay, what is CLB level 5?
CLB 5 is 5 in 3 of the modules and 4.5 in reading.
And how many bands required for BC, ITC?
CLB 5 is the minimum requirement for all programs.
Someone is 48 years old and haven't given IELTS. Can I do the investment?
I mean, there is no direct program for the investment, sir. You need to appear for IELTS for all programs.
For some other country like US, probably.
US is not asking for IELTS.
So for EB5, probably they are eligible.
Yeah, for EB5 it is. They don't really need to appear for IELTS.
Okay, someone is writing, I am an artist. I want to know about the self-employed visa. Will you cover that in the webinar presentation?
I'm sorry, it is not considered, but if you're an artist, if you performed at the international level, you can certainly qualify, and this is the direct permanent residency option. You must meet immediately one of our offices and they will be able to give you the complete details of this program.
Construction equipment rental business from past 30 years, would it be considered as business?
Rental business is not considered, sir. Construction business, yes, it is considered.
Okay, can me and my friend club together for Manitoba 33% each?
No. I mean, if you are, both working in India and having a 33% of the shareholding in the same company, you will have to apply separately. You can certainly apply, but you will both have to apply separately with different investment.
Okay, Amit, how will they contact you after this webinar? Can you share your mobile number or email ID?
I will share my mobile number. I will share my mobile number and my email ID as well. And they will contact me during the office hours. And we will certainly give them all the details which they require.
It is requested if you can share your email and mobile right away, because maybe some people would leave before the end of your webinar. So they can note down your email ID and mobile number. And
yeah, you can note down my email ID. You can note down my email ID. That is Amit, AMIT Amit .K @WWICS
Can you repeat once again?
Amit, AMIT Amit .K for kingdom @WWICS
And your mobile also.
My mobile number is 7696022897.
Please repeat once again.
7696022897.
Let's continue with the webinar, Amit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we were discussing about the Manitoba Entrepreneur Program. This is one of the most successful program we have had in the past. And currently, the program is accepting application, but only there is a requirement that you must have an exploratory visit. We are expecting the exploratory visit to start probably by the end of August or September first week. But in the meantime, we can certainly work on your business plan and on your documentation if you wish to lodge your application. The requirement for this particular program are very, very easy. You just need 3 years of work experience in the last 5 years. You should have experience of ownership, business ownership, or a partner in the experience, or you are a senior management guy. Net worth should be 3 CR. You should be able to make an investment of $250,000 in the main city, that is Winnipeg. If you want to establish your business outside the main city, then you can invest $150,000. You must clear IELTS with minimum CLB 5. You should have a 10+2 education. You need to create one job only in Winnipeg, and exploratory visit is mandatory for this particular program. The process I've already shared. Only if you're meeting these requirements, then you can share your resume and the details on my email ID. We can certainly get back to you, and we'll have a one-to-one session as well. Then we have Nova Scotia program. At the moment, most of the people are applying for this program because this program does not require an exploratory visit. It is a very easy program. This is the eastern province of Canada with a population of just 1.2 million people. Mostly people are Canadian and French, and they are inviting people who can invest only 150,000 Canadian dollars. That makes only 85,000 Canadian dollars. The biggest plus for this particular province is they are even allowing you to establish an irrelevant business. Means if you are running a construction company in India, you can always go for a liquor shop or a convenience store or for a restaurant or a motel or any other business which you like. So they are allowing people to go for irrelevant business. Only thing they need to make an investment of $150,000. This is the Nova Scotia where world's biggest ports are there, and it is bordering the US. Most of the documentaries which you see on the Discovery have been picturized in Nova Scotia. So there is a lot of business activities, and most of the businesses which are flourishing at the moment are hospitality sector, because it is a tourist place also. So therefore, we would recommend most of you to apply for this Nova Scotia Entrepreneur Program, because the qualifying criteria is easy. There is no harsh requirement. You can even apply without going there also. So you must have a 3 years of experience. You must have a net worth of 3.5 to 4 CR. You should be able to invest 85 to 90 lakhs. You should have clear IELTS with CLB 5, and the minimum education is 10+2. So if you are meeting these criteria, you would qualify for these program for this particular province. This particular province, the processing is very fast. You can get an approval within 12 months time. And after establishing the business in Nova Scotia, I'll get the permanent residency after 1 year. So this is one province which is very easy, and where the requirements are, most of the people usually qualify under this program. Then we have British Columbia, where most of the people are applying. I mean, most of the people are interested. To be very honest, I would like to share my experience in handling the British Columbia cases, because we've been dealing with this program for the last 5-6 years. Unfortunately, the success rate in this program has not been great, because the people who are applying into this program are applying with the bare minimum criteria. But the government, the British Columbia government is require people who can invest more, not with the bare minimum investment. So if the bare minimum investment is 200,000, we would recommend you to go for 400,000 at least in order to be eligible for this program. Although the requirements are easy, but since 70 to 80% of people applying for this particular program, so the requirement from the British Columbia authorities are very, very high. They are picking people only with the higher investment, and where the business is economically viable, where the jobs creation is more, and people are not investing in the main cities, rather they are investing in the regional areas. They have been given preference over others. So the net worth requirement for this program is just $600,000. That means 3.5 to 4 CR. Minimum 3 years of business experience is required, and you should have at least 33.3% business holding, or you should be an owner of the business. If you are not the owner of the business and you are only 33% or more than 33% partnership in the business, you should be a graduate. If you are 10+2 or less than graduate and you are holding less than 100% share in the business, you do not qualify. Okay, so if you are not an owner, you should be a graduate. Post-secondary education is only 10th. 10th will also require, only 10th is required in order to apply for this particular program. Eligible personal investment is $200,000, and at least you should have, you should create at least one job. But what I has just informed you that applying with bare minimum criteria would not make you work permit. You have to you have to make a good business plan where the investment is on a higher side, where job creation is more, where you have a good IELTS score, where you have a good qualification, you have a good net worth. Only those people should apply under this British Columbia program. Otherwise, most of the application get rejected if you apply with bare minimum criteria. Now then we have Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program. This is also similar grounds. The net worth is just $500,000. You should have 4 to 7 years of work experience with 50% ownership in business. If you're less than 50%, you cannot apply under this program. You should have you should have 50% more partnership in the business, or you should be a proprietor of the business. Then you can only apply for this program. Intend to invest minimum $300,000 in Regina and Saskatoon. If you're applying in these main two cities, Regina is the capital of Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon is the biggest city of Saskatchewan. So if you are establishing your business in Saskatoon or Regina, you should be able to invest $300,000 or a minimum of $200,000 if you are outside Regina and Saskatoon. IELTS is not mandatory, but we would again recommend you to appear for IELTS because it will fetch you points. Exploratory visit is not mandatory. For claiming 15 points, candidate must have participated in an exploratory visit. See, the points, the exploratory visit is not mandatory, but if you do not make an exploratory visit for this particular province, you will not get 15 points and you will not be able to reach to the required score. So apart from British Columbia and Nova Scotia, you should make an exploratory visit before you lodge your application for any of these provinces. Another program is the Yukon Business Nominee. This is the coldest place in Canada. with a population of just 50,000 people. But they also have a business program. The only good thing is the success rate is more than 95%. If you apply for 𝐂𝐈𝐶 business program, you are certainly going to get the work permit, and later you will get the permanent residency. So if you want to apply for 𝐂𝐈𝐶, you have to have a $500,000 Canadian business, means net worth, means 3 CR, 3 years of business experience, at least graduation, at least 10th class, you should have 10th class study. Minimum liquid asset, $300,000, means you should have at least 1.7 or 1.8 CR liquid assets available in order to apply for 𝐂𝐈𝐶 business nominee program. And if you have this liquid assets available, you will be able to show it to the government. You will get the visa very easily. The success rate under this program is very high, and the processing time is just 8 to 10 months. You need to get 65 score on the assessment grade also. The points is calculated on the base of your experience, your qualification, your net worth, everything. Another program is New Brunswick program. This is also an island where most of the people are Canadian and French. And this is the eastern province of Canada, bordering to US. Is one of the beautiful provinces, beautiful island, where the earlier they used to give direct permanent residency, but earlier this year they have changed the regulations, and now they are giving only work permit to the people who can establish their businesses in New Brunswick, and then can they get the permanent residency. I want to reiterate one thing more, that people who are applying for New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, Yukon, Manitoba, the chances of success are very, very high, more than 90%. So if you are meeting these requirements, you are meeting the eligibility point, you must contact us immediately, and we'll give you all the details. I'm sure, I know that we've not been able to cover all the details in this webinar because of the time constraint. But certainly there is a lot more to know about these programs. Therefore, I request you to share your detail with us. You can contact me over the phone from Monday onwards, and I will certainly, put a case officer with you who can give you all the details on these programs. Now we'll talk about the federal programs. These are the federal programs which are the direct permanent residency options. But these programs are complex programs, and you should have a great credentials. You should have a good background. Then only you should be able to apply for these programs. I'll cover these ICT programs and intra-company transfer. See, ICT program is basically an intra-company transfer. Supposing you have a company already in Canada and you want to transfer one of your executives or one of your key members of the organization to Canada to run the operations of the company, yes, you can apply for this particular program. But if you, being an owner, want to go to Canada on intra-company transfer, the only option is for you to open a subsidiary of your mother company in Canada. Supposingly, I'll give an example that we have a company, WWICS, and I want to open the branch of WWICS in Canada. Then I'm eligible to apply for intra-company transfer. I'll be given a work permit for 2 years to run the operations of the company in Canada, and then I will be able to apply for a permanent residency. To apply for ICT program, you should have a good company in India. You should have with good turnover, with good hierarchy, wherein you will be able to prove to the government that in your absence, who would be leading the company in India, who will be handling the company in India, and what are your ideas, or what you are going to do in Canada, how you are going to run the your subsidiary in Canada. All these aspects to be covered in your submission and your business plan. So it's an easy visa. It's only the process is only 6 months, but certainly we would look at the candidates who have good business here in India with good turnover, with good infrastructure and good hierarchy in the business. They can apply. The process is very easy. The process time is only 6 months, and you can get a work permit within 6 months time. If you wish to open the company of your mother company in Canada, of your branch or your subsidiary in Canada. These are the basic requirements. The company must have a financial ability to commence business in Canada and compensate employees. You need to prove that you have a healthy business in India. You have a good capital in India so that they can take care of the Canadian subsidiary. When transferring executive or manager, the company must demonstrate that it will be large enough to support executive or management functions, which I told you that a good company with good turnover, good clientele can only apply under this program. Do not apply if you're only handling a company employee of 10 to 15 people. You have with the meager turnover of 1 CR or 2 CR. Don't apply. You are likely to get rejected. Then we have a startup visa. This is a program has launched in 2013. This program has been, marketed by a lot of consultants in around Delhi and in South and in Western cities also. We are also dealing with this program, but we are dealing with we are very specific in choosing our clients. So this startup visa program is a direct permanent residency option for the people who wish to apply for a startup visa.
I'm sorry for interrupting again. People are putting in lots of queries and questions. After this slide, probably there is another slide that will be finished in next 5 minutes. You can all pen down your queries. Please put it in chat or in QA session. I'll be putting it across to Mr. Amit and he'll be addressing and answering all those things in next 5 minutes time. So please, guys.
Yeah, we are almost finished, Mr. Noria, because there is no slide after this. We are finished with the presentation now. The only startup visa program requirements are pending. If you allow me 5 minutes,
yes, and please carry on.
Okay. Sure. So we were discussing the startup visa program. The criteria is difficult. The success rate is very low. They are only choosing people who have a unique idea. You cannot go to Canada with a common idea where opening a restaurant or a liquor shop or a convenience store. You have to have a unique idea which will be accepted by one of these 3 bodies, which is venture capital, angel investors, or business incubators. You should meet the language requirement. You should be able to invest $100,000 to $200,000. Your communication skills should be good, and then you should have a good idea. The idea can be created by a team of attorneys, but your inputs, your involvement is must. Otherwise, startup visa is a good program. The success rate is not that great, but if you have a good, unique idea, you can certainly look at it. So here I end my presentation for the Canadian programs, and we can certainly discuss your questions. And then I would request everyone to contact me over the phone on Monday onwards, and we will be discussing all details one-to-one as well.
Amitji, please repeat your email and mobile once again.
Yeah, my email ID is amit.k, amit.k, K for kingdom, @WWICS group.com. I repeat it again, amit.k @WWICSgroup.com. My phone number is 7696022897.
All right, I'll take up some questions that has been put across. Sarabjit Singh, he's writing, person applying can go with family or not?
Yes. I mean, that's a very good question. I should have answered this question by beginning. But yes, your spouse and children below 22 years are eligible to be considered as a dependent, and they are entitled for all social benefit. If your children are studying less than higher secondary, they would be getting a free education in Canada, and you are also entitled for medical facility also. Your spouse will be getting an open work permit. She's allowed to take up any job. She can do anything she wishes to do in Canada.
And related to this is, what about my old parents, mother, father, or
See, the
single
father,
parent?
mother is not included in the application. You can later sponsor them on a super visa or a permanent visa.
Okay, so they cannot be part of the application,
No,
but
they
they
cannot be
can
the part of
join on a visitor visa or on super
the visa.
visa.
Yes.
Next is, which country had procurement? Which country had what country had procurement decision-making authority for all the procurement across company? Okay, he might be a company head, procurement or decision-making authority. Would the person be eligible? I
See,
think
as
if
long as you are, the second in command in the hierarchy, you will be able to apply.
okay, business book figures are required for 3 years or more.
I mean, the minimum requirements are 3, but when we are filing the application, if you're more than 7 or 10 years of experience, we would require 5-year balance sheet and the other 5-year company documents, financial documents.
So 3 years are not sufficient.
I mean, if you have for more than 5 years experience, we would require the balance sheet for the last 5 years. If you have only 3 years, then we would apply an application with 3 years balance sheets only.
Minimum 3 years is a must.
Yes.
Okay. Key role of running the company.
Sorry, sir, repeat your question.
It is key role. Person is probably wants to ask a key role for running the company. The position holder should be in the
key role is that, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a general manager or manager. The point is, what is your job responsibility in that company? Are you a decision-making authority? Can you hire 5 people? Can you make financial policy or the other policies in the company, and you are directly reporting to the management or the owner of the company? If you are performing these duties, you are eligible to be considered as senior management.
Okay. Next is, my query is, I am partner in my company, but I am not 33% holder.
So that's not a problem. Even if you're less than 33.3% holder, you will not be considered an entrepreneur, but your application can be lodged as a senior management guy.
Okay, so this is done. I am CEO of a company. My wife is a director in the same company, and I hold 19% equity shares of the company. Who should apply, my wife or me?
And he didn't mention his wife's shareholding in the company.
She is CEO of the company, so she is the in the top hierarchy.
But we need to see what is the shareholding in the company. She is the CEO and he's a director with the 19% of the shareholding. He must confirm what is the shareholding of the wife also. If she is 33%, 33.3% shareholder in the company, we will certainly make her the main applicant.
And if she is not holding that part, then, but she is the active decision maker in that company,
then both will be considered as senior management. Anybody can be the applicant.
Right. Thank you. What happened to the kids' education during the initial period of 2 years work permit?
See, the education of the children, the Canada gives the right to education to each child. So you are also entitled to get the free education for your kids till higher secondary during the work permit duration.
Okay. I have a franchise business in Delhi for 30 years. Can I have a franchise in Canada?
See, the franchise business is not given to the non-residents. So first you need to get the permanent residency, then you will be able to get any good franchise in Canada.
So for investment option, franchise businesses cannot be considered.
For entrepreneur category, yes, you can apply to acquire any franchisee, but before you lodge the application, you must get the agreement signed from the franchisee holder.
So this is doable, right?
Yeah, this is doable, yes.
Okay. I mean, one of my child is currently in class 12, age 16. What happened to her college fee in Canada? She would turn 18 by that time when we apply for PR.
See, if you're applying for the entrepreneur programs, you would be getting a 2-year work permit, and during the work permit, your child, if he's studying in graduation or first year of graduation, you will have to pay the fee as an international student. But once you get the permanent residency, then she would be getting the study benefits, and she would be paying only 60% of the fee as a domestic student.
Okay. Does the business plan need to be same what we are doing here in India?
No, it's not to be same. Only I've told you that British Columbia is only asking to establish a relevant business. Rest all provinces, you can have an irrelevant business. It is not required you to do the same business what you're doing in India.
Okay. What is the minimum business turnover in India you're looking at for an entrepreneur?
See, as per the Canadian guidelines, there is no specific turnover requirement, but as a company, we only choose people whose turnover is more than 1 CR.
Okay, I'm 39 years old. I'm running my own workshop. I am a welder and a machinist too. Can I apply in skilled category? My VES is clear. This is not the right place for this candidate. Our team will contact you and they will guide you. Next is, can you also mention the temperature and weather of these places, Amit ji?
Temperature on the weather of which province, sir?
These are the provinces that we have discussed in the webinar. British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia.
If you're planning to move to Canada, you should make your plan accordingly, because entire Canada is very cold except the BC. So for Ontario, the temperature may go minus 15 to 20 degrees. Manitoba also minus 15 to 20 degrees. All provinces except Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, because these are on the coastal line, these are islands, so the temperature doesn't go minus in most of the time. But Manitoba, Ontario, Saskatchewan are the coldest places in Canada, and the temperature may go minus 30 to 35 degrees as well.
Right. This is an interesting question. After getting PR of a province, can one shift to some other province and buy business there?
Yeah, certainly. Once you get the work permit for a particular province, you have to establish the business in that province only. And once you meet the requirements of the business agreement, which is signed with the government, and you get the PR, then you are allowed to move to any province and establish your business in any province after getting the permanent residency.
There is no condition to stay in the province for a year or two after getting
initially, yes, you have to stay there for 2 years at least. After getting a work permit, you have to stay there and you have to establish your business also.
But after getting PR, one can move.
Yes, after getting PR, one can move. The positive point is that if your wife is educated, because she's got the work permit, she's got the open work permit, if she takes up a job over there and she meets the requirement of the CRS, then she'll be able to apply into the Canadian experience class as well.
Okay. Can two people club in one business plan and invest together in Canada?
Only in Ontario, not in other provinces.
And what would be the minimum investment for each?
$200,000 outside GTA.
$200,000 outside GTA.
Yes.
Okay. What is the minimum tax return requirement?
There is no tax return requirement in order to be eligible for permanent residency. You should run the business for 1 year. You should pay the salaries of the employees at least for 1 year, and then you are eligible to apply for a permanent residency.
Maybe they are asking from India's point of view to be eligible. How much income tax or how much return you should be filing as an entrepreneur?
See, as far as the Canadian program guidelines are concerned, there is no specific requirement. But you should be an income tax pay. You should pay tax. We are accepting application where clients are paying more than 10 lakh rupees tax annually.
10 lakh rupees tax or 10 lakh income they are showing annually?
10 lakh income, of course.
10 lakh income if they are showing annually from the business,
yes,
they are eligible. But if your income is less than 10 lakhs, then probably other factors we have to verify.
Yes.
All right. Is there any business investment program for Quebec?
The Quebec program is closed till 2023.
Okay. I am a CA and MBA in finance. In practice since 10 years. Can I apply? Yes, of course you can apply. My team will get back to you. I'm 65 years old. My child is permanent resident in Canada. How can I apply for business investment program? He's 65. His children are in Canada holding PR status, and he is looking for business investment programs. Aged 65 years.
The chances are very, very less until he apply for ICT or owner operator program.
Okay. More than 20 years of experience in travel company, wish to start business in the same field in BC, and as well, so that what would be the scope of the business? Travel business is eligible for BC, Amit?
Yeah, he's eligible for British Columbia program if he's running a travel company in India, because travel can be managed all over the world as well. So, but what we would like to know is investment, because travel business does not require any investment; it just requires an office. So, how would he invest $200,000 in that particular business? That would be a big question to ask. So, we are not very sure that it's going to be a successful program in BC.
This is a very interesting question. Once a person gets temporary resident visa and goes there in Canada, can he start some other new business other than the business plan?
No, it's very, most of the people are do ask the question, because your application has been assessed based on the business plan, and you have been awarded points based on the business plan, the job creations, the budget you have allocated to the business, and therefore you will have to operate the same business which you have committed to the officer at the time of filing. You cannot change your business plan.
I read somewhere startup visa does not require to invest themselves. The venture capital funds should agree to invest 200,000 or 70,000 by angel investor, business incubators, acceptance.
Yes. See,
what is your information on
venture
this?
capital and angel investor do invest if you have a great idea, if you have a very unique idea, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. But if you want that they should invest on your idea, we have a good team to make a business plan. You can always contact us.
Okay, we can take a franchisee of any brand in Canada that we have covered. My mother is proprietor of a company and I'm taking care all operations. How can we go about applying? My mother is proprietor and I am taking care of all operations.
No, it doesn't qualify. Okay. Until unless you have to, you need to prove with the documentation that what role you have in the business. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you're not a senior management, you do not qualify.
And the important aspect is net worth. Who is holding that net worth, your mother or you?
Of course, the net worth has to be on the applicant's name or the wife's name.
I'm running a hotel since 2001, but closed down in the year 2019 because of COVID. Can we still apply?
Yes, if you have 3 years of experience in the last 5 years, you can provide the balance sheet for the last 3 years in the last 5 years, you can apply. You need to apply immediately because only one program now you can apply for British Columbia, which is require only 2 years of experience the last 5 years. Because 19 you've lost, 20, 21. So you need to apply for British Columbia program at the earliest.
The list is never ending. Still, I'll take a few more. What if I am employed at a senior position as a director, but I don't have shareholding? Can I apply for investors? Age is 42.
Yes, certainly you can apply as a senior management person, and you need to choose the province. All provinces are accepting application for senior management people.
In case of Nova Scotia, one gets PR in 1 year, but in other provinces, it is 2 years time to get PR. Please confirm back and explain.
No, for all provinces, the requirement is very clear that you have to establish the business. You have to run the business for 1 year in order to get the permanent residency. So if you move to any province, you establish your business immediately and run the business for 1 year and meet the requirements of the performance agreement, you can apply permanent residency. The government will review the documentation which you have provided them for nomination, and once they verify the documentation you provided, like your balance sheet for 1 year, you need to prove that yes, this person was hired, he's been given a salary, and these are the balance sheet for my 1 year for my company. And after that, they will give you a nomination, and then you can apply for a permanent residency. For all provinces, the same same process to be followed.
There is a beautiful testimonial also, Amit, for you. Thanks a lot for giving us a wonderful presentation. I request you to please give us in future such presentations related to self-employed or skilled worker also.
Skilled worker, we are continuing to do that. For self-employed, yes. I mean, I would request you, first of all, thank you very much for appreciating us. And we have been regularly doing these webinars for skilled and for business. For self-employed, for some reason, we have not included in the presentation. But some, if you are a artist, if you are, in some other category and self-employed, you can qualify. Is it?
Sports person.
Yeah. So if you are a coach or you are a player, you have performed at an international level, you very well qualify, and this is a direct permanent residency option with very bare minimum investment. And I request you to immediately contact us, and then we'll give you the complete details. I've shared my number and email ID. Please contact as early as possible with all your details.
I'll take few questions quickly, Amit. I'm an Indian but doing business in China from past 5 years. But company is Hong Kong based, partnership with third party, and with husband, wife, both have ownership collectively 40%. Sir, we need to evaluate your financial details. You can share your complete details over the mail. It's not possible to answer in a minute. Okay, I have assets more than 3 million Canadian dollars. I'm having $100,000 rental income annually, and I am a high taxpayer in India. Can I be eligible for BC or Ontario?
I'm high tech. I didn't get you, sir. I'm high tech.
He is having 3 million Canadian dollars as net worth assets, having $100,000 rental income annually, and is a high taxpayer in India.
High taxpayer.
He taxpayer.
High taxpayer in India. Okay.
But see, income is only from rental.
No, he doesn't qualify because rental income is not considered as business.
Right, but he will qualify certainly for US EB5.
Yeah, he will qualify for US EB5 and European programs if he wants to get the residency for any of the European countries. So he'll be eligible to apply for the European countries.
Any possibility of investing, buying in a 3-star hotel, like buying there in BC or Vancouver? Any program on this?
Yeah, this is called owner-operator program, and if you acquire any Canadian existing business in Canada, you would be able to apply for a work permit, and then they'll give you a permanent residency. This has been one of the favorite programs in the past, but recently on 1st of April, the government has announced some changes in the program. So the changes are not that great, but yes, now there is a requirement for the advertisement for this particular business if you wish to acquire. So this is a good option if you are in the same business in India, and if you acquire a Canadian business in Canada, of course you would qualify, and this is going to be an easy process for you to get the permanent residency.
Okay. 2 people club in one business plan and invest together in Nova Scotia. Please ask my above question. It's very important. Someone has requested. For Nova Scotia, can 2 people club for investment?
Yeah, they can have a common business plan, and but they'll have to make a separate investment. The investment cannot be shared. The investment has to be 150 by both the applicants.
Okay. So we are done with question answers. I'm now going on the chat window. In UK PR, we need IELTS too. Do we need IELTS for UK also?
See, IELTS is of course required for UK also, but there is no permanent residency direct options for UK. There are only 2 programs: sole representative and sole operative program for UK. So these are the work permit options have been given to the business people, and then they can apply for a British passport after staying there for 5 years, for 7
I
years.
don't, I don't have any business experience. Can I invest up to 200,000 Canadian dollars in partnership with my friend?
No.
Okay. What is the minimum investment in ITC?
In ITC?
Yeah, intercompany transfer probably. ICT.
ICT, okay. The investment under the ICT program is $100,000 to $200,000.
Okay. Is there any point if your brother and sister are there in Canada?
No, it's not going to have any impact on your application. It's just going to add few points if you have a relative in that particular province. Otherwise, it's not going to have a major impact on your application.
How can we get PR in ICT program?
ICT, when you get
how can
even after 1 year, I mean, even after 1 year, if you have a Canadian work experience for 1 year, you have sufficient 397 points you score, you can apply under the Canadian experience class.
Right. So why not apply for the easiest category, and after getting the PR, we move there, we want to. Okay, let's leave this. If I'm not graduate, is it possible to get intercompany transfer program?
Yeah. There is no requirement, education requirement for intercompany transfer. Only thing, you should be able to clear IELTS with 5 band at least.
What all qualifies as business investment? What other than capex and inventory in case of a retail store?
Sorry, I didn't get the question, sir.
Question is, what all qualifies as business investment? What other than capex and inventory in case of a retail store? I'm not able to interpret it. Okay.
See, what I can interpret is that the investment would go into the stock, would go into the advertisement, would go into the salaries, would go into the lease, would go into the rents. This is what I think his question is.
Again, you have a testimonial, Amit. You have explained very well. Thanks a lot. This is from Aditya Nagpal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for appreciating us. Thank you so much.
Okay, then I think most of the things are done. I take salary from the company. Still, I'm authorized signatory of the company. Salary is 18,000 per annum.
18,000 per annum?
Yeah, it is not mentioned Canadian dollars or rupees. 1800K, 1800K. It is written like 1800K. I'm not sure. Please write to us in proper format so that we can understand and answer you. What are the requirements of US immigration? Amit, quickly, last 5 minutes.
Yeah, US is straightforward green card program where you need to invest 900,000 US dollars. That is going to give you a green card within 15 to 20 months time. You must have a source of $900,000. You must have the liquid cash available to be transferred immediately to the approved project in US. Once the once the $900,000 is transferred, your application will be immediately filed, and within 15 to 20 months time, you and your family, children below 21 years of age, would get the green card.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amit. That comes to an end for these questions, although there are still many left, but we are short of time. I would request you to please repeat your email ID and number, and our team at the back end will be contacting all of you over the telephone, and we can probably have a one-on-one discussion very soon.
Yeah. So my email ID is Amit, amit.k for kingdom at wwwicsgroup.com. I'll repeat again, Amit, amit.k@wwwicsgroup.com. And my phone number is 7696022897.
Thank you for your participation, guys. We really appreciate sparing your time this evening. And we ensure to bring more webinars to you for better understanding about Canadian programs, UK, US, even New Zealand. We provide services to all the major investor programs where you can invest your money and can get permanent residency through work permit or even direct citizenship. So please do visit our website WWICS Group for the latest updates and for the coming webinars information. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a very good evening to all of you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with us and cooperating. You've been very cooperative audience, and thank you for participating in the webinar. Thank you so much.